018 আছে নে just হেৰি কৰিছে mic is not working. Okay, then next just summarize someone then. পাৰ্থ পাৰ্থ আছা
Yes, ma'am.
কোৱা কি কৰিছো লাষ্ট লাষ্ট ক্লাছ
Ma'am, মই এবাৰ ইউটিউব চাই আছো
হা
একদম ভালদৰে ক্লিয়াৰ হোৱা নাই পুৰা
একদম ভালদৰে ক্লিয়াৰ হোৱা নাই যেতিয়া চবকে খুব ক্লিয়াৰ হৈছে নে হোৱা নাই তেতিয়া চবে চুপ থাকা যে
টাইম খিনি নেখাদাও আৰু চাই
anyone else how we calculated time complexity last time
Adding the variables.
adding the variables means considering the variables right
Yes.
but those are for space complexity. For time complexity, what we did for every arithmetic operation or logical operation or assignment operation or return values, it takes 111 unit. Wait, I share my screen then. Can you see the screen? Is it visible to all? Is it visible to all? My screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what we did here, we considered that 1 unit time for arithmetic operation and logical operation, then 1 unit for assignment and return. Therefore, in this statement, you considered both the arithmetic operation a plus b, then also for the return value. So total time was 1 unit plus 1 unit equal to 2. Then so what we did here for this particular program or code, we considered each instruction because all of this one line code will also contribute to the total time complexity. Okay, so for the first statement, this is just single statement, assignment statement. So it will run just one time. Therefore, the cost was 1 and to run this statement, it will take 1 unit of time. So time is 1. Then for this for loop, number 2, there are three operations happening. One is initialization, one is comparison, and one is the implementation. So cost of this for loop is 3 because 3 operations are happening here. Then this line will run for n times. Why n times? Because your n is depending on the input size. So this for loop will always run for n type. So then there is one plus is because for the condition when your function will come out of the for loop. So this extra one is for exiting condition or the false condition when this comparison portion will become false. Okay, so that's how cost is 3 and here time is n plus 1. Then for line 3, there is one assignment operation. Means first it's addition operation. After adding it, it's again assigning to the variable x. Two operations. So the cost is 2. And this statement will again run for n times because it is under the loop. So it's n. Okay. Then for the fourth line, it's a single line. So it will just take 1 unit and cost is 1. So then you are going to add up all these things. So finally you will get 5n plus 5. So for any asymptotic notation, we are going to just disregard or neglect or ignore the constant part of the term. So in this expression, only 5n part is contributing to your time with respect to the input size. Therefore, of course, this 5 part we are going to discard it. So remaining part is 5n. So again in this 5n we can just take 5 as a constant c and c remains same. So time complexity will go up. See, I'm going to just show you the easy way to calculate the time complexity. Here I'm showing the proper one because you should also know the basic concepts how it actually works. Okay, so now I'm going to give some general rules. Using these rules, you can just calculate everything very easily. You no need to think about this cost, then time and all. Okay, wait, share this screen again. Can you see this screen? This canvas? Can you see the canvas? The room is locked. Can you see the screen now? Okay, so your running time will depend on like four things. One is like single process, multiple processor, then your read write speed of your memory, then whether your machine is 32-bit or 64-bit, then the input size. So of course, when we are going to compute the time complexity, we are going to ignore all these other external things like your hardware and software part of your desktop. We are only going to consider the input size. So for input size, let's see for loops first. Okay, so let's start from loops. What happens here? Can you see? Can you see the writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what happens in for loop? What we write for just think about the condition. What's the normal structure for any for loop? There can be any statement. Just for example, I'm just taking just example how it can be anything. It can be any statement. You can write statement. Okay, then we end here. I can say this one is number one condition, general rule. So what happens is for loop. Okay, so I have already mentioned how long it takes to run a for loop. So what will be the time for this for loop? For how many times this is going to run? Don't think about the exit condition. Just think about how many times this for loop will run. Answer? Anyone? Anyone? this for loop will run for n times. Why n times? Because it's depending on your input, right? So as long as your I is less than n, it will run. That means your for loop will run for at least n times. All for loops will run for n times if you provided this, you have also included the increment part. Sometimes we don't put this increment part, so then it will be a little different. But for this case, like for very general structure, for loop will always consist of these three operations, right? So this for loop or any for loop will run for n times because your input size is n. Then for this particular statement, you don't no need to care about the assignment thing, then the plus thing. What will be the general units for this particular statement? What will be the time? If you consider arithmetic operation and your assignment operation, what will be the time taken for this statement?
2 units.
2 units. Yes, correct. So this unit will take 2 units. So what is 2? 2 is a constant term, right? So you can consider that any statement inside a for loop will take constant time, correct? Because this for loop will run for n times. Then there will be some statements, there will be some operations, it can be plus, minus, anything. There will be some statements. So this statement will basically take constant time every time. See, when your I equal to 1, suppose, sorry, I equal to 0, then this statement will run one time. Then when your it will be increased, I equal to 2, 1, then again it will run for one time, then and so on. So you can say for every time, means every time it will have like some amount of operations like logical or arithmetic operation, it will simply take constant time. So what you need to do whenever you see for loop, just remember it will take n times because it's depending on the input side. Then anything inside the for loop is going to take constant time. Then what will be the time complexity for this for loop? You just need to multiply these two things. So your n into your c. Suppose this is c, constant time. So your time will be Cn. Okay. So if your total time is Cn, means is some amount of constant time and the n. So what will be the time complexity? It will be On because we are going to neglect the C part, constant part. Is it clear to you guys? Is it clear, everyone? Answer, is it clear to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Etta, yes ma'am. Hussein. Others, is it clear to you guys? Once again, explain it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Good.
Can you repeat again?
Okay. Okay. See, just this is your general structure of for loop, correct? So your for loop will always run for n times. N means a number of inputs. Suppose I have given input size is uh, 4. So this for loop will run for 4 times. If I say input size is 5, then this for loop will run for 5 times, correct? So whatever will be size of the input, means if 1 it will be 1, if 2 it will be 2, and so on. So depending on the number of input it will run, and since here we just mentioned n, it will run for n times. Okay. Then for any statement inside the for loop is going to take constant time. This is the case, means
Okay, ma'am.
here in this slide I mentioned that for this one it's going to take 2 units of time because I'm also considering addition, means arithmetic operation and assignment, right? Total time is 2, correct? That is 2. The total unit of time taken by this statement is 2. So 2, what is 2? It's not depending on the input right now. This is inside your for loop. So this is a constant time. So for n times, this statement is going to run for constant times. Every time it will have a constant time. So you are just going to multiply the number of times here and into the inside loop portion. So your total time will be n into your time constancy. So your time will be Cn. C is some amount n. So your complexity is going to be On. Why On? I already mentioned we are always going to consider the worst case. Okay, even if it is omega or theta, doesn't matter. You are going to neglect the constant part. Okay, so this is
Okay.
for loop. So next, let's see what about the nested loop. Say constant 0. It cannot take 0 time. If even if it is a assignment operation, still it will take 1 unit of time. 1, 2, 3 doesn't matter. It's still a constant time. So you can just represent it using C. Okay, Dullar, is it clear to you? Amen. Yeah. So next is, let's see what happens for nested loop. So what's the general structure of nested loops? It's a for loop within another for loop. The structure is like one. Let's consider any less than equal to. You can also take 0 or whatever. It doesn't matter at this point of time. Anyway, it's going to run for n time. Then within for loops, there will be another for loops. Let's just think about one. Then there will be some again, just say same a plus b, or you can say any statement. So what will be the running time here? So for this loop, it will run n times, correct? Then this for loop will also run n times, correct? And this statement will take constant time. Is it clear to you guys? This for loop will take n time, just following the normal rule of for loop. Then this for loop will again take n times. Again, same rule number 1. For loop, any for loop will run for n times. So this one for loop will run for n times. The second loop will run for n times. Then the statement within the for loop will run c, constant time. Okay. So what will be the running time for this nested loop? You are
2n or n square.
Yes, so you are just going to multiple this all. Yes, let's see Cn square. So it
Cn square.
into n, so Cn square. So what will be the complexity? It will be O n square. Is it clear to you guys? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other confusion? Like for the normal one, we already know now for loop will run for n times. We have two loops. So there will be n times for each of the for loops. Then any statement inside the for loops is going to take constant time. So you are just going to multiply these values. Okay, so total time will be C n into n n square. So we are going to just ignore this constant time and your time complexity will be O(n) square. So see here you no need to worry about how many logical operations are there, how many assignment operation is there. You don't need to think about those 1 unit, 2 unit cost and all. You can directly say whenever you see a for loop inside a program, any program, you will know that that for loop will run for n number of times. So for single for loop, the time complexity will be O(n). Then if you have a nested loop, like when we get this nested loop, if you remember from previous class, can you give an example? Nested for loop. When we use this one, for which program? Answer. You guys did this program and you also did in exam 2. When we use nested for loops, using one for loop, what you can calculate? One for loop is for arrays, right? Then list. Someone answer.
For matrix.
Yes, correct. It's for matrix. Matrix is a two-dimensional array. So most of the times we use matrix addition or multiplication or any two-dimensional array using nested loop. So for nested loop portion or matrix, the time complexity is always O(n) square. Okay. So whenever you see nested loops, then remember the time is O(n) square. I also showed how you can calculate. And the single one is just 1. So is this clear to you guys? Nested loop. I will move to the next one then. Is it clear? Everyone? Yes, no, anything? Yes. Do you want me to repeat or no? Okay, I assume it's clear. Okay. Next is like consecutive statement. We have seen two types of for loops. So in normal single for loop, it takes n times. For the nested for loops, it takes n square time. So just think about example. Let's say a plus b is one line. Then we have a for loop. There is a state. You can just say, and you can just take any expression. Okay, doesn't matter. Then there will be another for loop. Okay, so what will be the time complexity here? Suppose this is your line 1, this is your line 2, this is your line 3. So what we will do here? Any guess? I just showed single for loop, nested for loops. Right. So here we have two for loops, but these are not nested for loops. This is not for loop inside for loop. There are two for loops inside your program. It also very common thing, right? Sometimes we use two for loops. Then we have statement. So what happens here? We simply add, or you can say just add all those times separately. So what will be the time complexity for this one? This one is a single statement. So this is half actually. You can say C plus, or you can use any statement. So it will take constant time, right? For example,
Ma'am, then
C1.
C constant.
Yes, correct. C constant time. So what will be the time for this one for loop?
And
Correct. So this statement is going to take another constant time. Correct.
constant.
Then this
Yes, ma'am.
is again n times.
And
So now what happens?
constant C.
You are going to add up individual constant. But these
Oh,
for loops, if you remember from the rule 1, you are going to multiply. Okay, for loops inside thing, you are going to multiply. Rest, you are going to just add. That
add
will be C1 plus C2 plus
in and C3 and
C3n. So you can just express it as C1, C2 plus C3n. Maybe what's your question?
will be common.
In last item, we will also be yeah, not return. This is statement, just any statement. I didn't write any return statement. Even though you tell
Return
me that
0.
that that one will be also like constant. So this expression you can just represent suppose C1 plus maybe C dash n. So what will be the complexity? Will be the
What,
complexity,
ma'am?
will be the complexity for this expression.
This one.
Will be the
And
complexity n.
um,
Correct. Because we are simply going to neglect the all constant part. Even we
yeah,
will ignore, then again this we will ignore. So you can also just write another statement Cn consider
yeah,
C1. So you can again write it as Cn. Okay. Is it clear to you guys? Everyone? Is it clear? All
once again explain the complexity.
once again. Okay.
And
So
कैसे होगा?
see, what's happening here? We have three statements. For example, in the previous, we just see only for the for loop what will be the time complexity. Correct? So here also we have two for loops, but these are not nested for loops. So for single for loops, the time is always Cn. Okay? Single for loop, our time is Cn. Then again we have another for loop. This one will also have timing C of n, because for any statement inside the for loop it will be C. So when just like the follow the first loop, for loop you are just going to multiply inside thing. Okay, so this for loop will take n times, so anything inside this statement will take constant time and you are going to simply multiply. So inside portion you will multiply and rest you are going to add up all those times. In the previous one, I just showed one block, right? Suppose this is your rule number 1. This is also your rule 1. There is no nested loop, so no need to care about those things. So you are just going to add up each of these lines. So see, when we write a program, there are lots of lines. Correct? It's not going to be like simple for loop thing program. Yeah, there are some programs those you can just finish in for loops. So but what's your main thing? Time complexity is all about running time of the program with respect to your input. So if any piece of code or any line or instruction is not related to your input, anyways, we will going to ignore that time. Inside a program, those block of codes that are depending on your input or input size, only those blocks will provide you or contribute you to the time complexity. Okay, so inside any program, anyway we are going to ignore all other parts, all other instruction of your code, like when we do initialization, like take variable and all those, everything will going to take constant time, just single unit of time. But what's actually depending on your running time is your loops. For loops, while loops also same, it will take n times. All the loops for while, do, while, it's going to take n times because your loop always run for the number of times depending on your input size. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Then for all program will get worse or it will change. Of course, it will change. Most of the times we get on, but in some programs we get login times. In some program we get n square, like your, if your, like your matrix multiplication, what will be the time complexity for matrix multiplication or addition? What will be the time complexity? It will be o n square, right? Because for for matrix we use nested loop. So if your program consists of nested loops, it's going to take o n square. But most of the times we just use single dimensional array, right? So if we use just normal array, most of the times it's just going to be one times. Okay, but for the divide and conquer approach, like binary search and other sorting algorithms, some of them take log n time, logarithmic time, then take n log n time, and so on. So it will mainly depend on your program, but for most of the cases burst time is like on. Okay, okay, let's see what will happen for the if else statement. Okay, for number 4 is if else. So what's the general structure for if else statements? Okay, see, in some programs within if else condition we again have some looping thing, right? Sometimes in some programs we are going to take for loop inside if else and so on. What's the general? It's like if, then condition is a very general, right? This statement, then else, then there will be some statements again and on. Okay. Now in if else statement, again it will be like you need to add up the time complexity for if and the time complexity for else statement. So you are just going to add up individual time complexity of if condition and the false condition. Okay. For example, suppose inside this block we have single statement. Okay. If single statement, then is going to take C. Okay. But again, of course, you are going to provide some conditions, right? So for the condition, it will run suppose n number of times. Or you can also think about like inside the for if else statement, there is another for loop. Okay, just consider, just imagine. The possibility is different. Every program it might be different or not. I'm just asking you to just think inside an if else condition, there is one for loop. Okay. So for loop, what's the time? It's n times. Okay. Again, for the if else statement, that the time for a for loop will be Cn. So time complexity for this block of code will be On. Okay. Then for this else condition, suppose you are giving a matrix operation maybe, or any two-dimensional thing. So maybe there is one nested for loops inside this else statement. So your time complexity will be Cn square. So it will be On square. Just think about the possibility. I'm just telling you the very complicated one. Okay. So what will happen? You are just going to add up this value, individual values. So time will be On square plus On. Maybe there is some other statement as well. We will neglect it. So what will be the actual running time here? We have a if else statement. So inside if condition, we have some particular codes, and the running time of that piece of code will be On. Then for else statement, suppose we have time complexity of On square, maybe it consists of nested loops. So the complexity will be On square. So we are just going to add up this complexity. So total time complexity will be On square plus On. But now remember the worst case. What's the worst case again? Anyone? Worst case means we are going to think about which expression is going to take the longest amount of time, the maximum time. So the total time complexity of this block of code will be simply On square. We are going to neglect this On part. Why? Why? Anyone want to say? So your total time complexity here is On square plus On, but the final worst case complexity is On square. Even if it's omega or theta, the time complexity will be On square. Why is it? Why the time complexity is final one is On square? Why we neglected this On term? Explain. Person, anyone? Just think why we are going to ignore this On part and will take only On square part. Okay, just giving another example. Suppose some time complex. Okay, it's going to end
Ma'am,
5 minutes.
can you explain this again?
Okay, just simply
If else statement.
your time complexity is suppose 4n square 5n plus 100. Suppose you have two time complexities. Okay, 4n 5n plus 1. What will be the complexity for this one? And what will be the this one? Yes, someone said it's On square and it will be On. For this case, I already told one part will be neglected because we are not going to consider the constant part. So complexity will be n. For this case, On square because we are going to take only n square. See, suppose your input size is 100. So in this term, suppose 50 plus 50, what will be the total complexity? 50 into 100 square. Then here for this term, it will be 5 into 100, which will take more time. On square or normal n? Of course, this part, right? Because it just doubling your time. If here it's taking 500, it's taking 500 into 100. So, which part is giving you the worst case? Just the O n square, right? Because for this part of expression, it's giving us the worst case. It's going to take the
Okay,
longest
ma'am.
time for this term
Long
to take.
time.
Yes. So that's why we
Okay,
are
ma'am.
going to neglect this entire term. So
Okay.
for this term, input is exponentially increasing, or it's just doubling the value, or it's going to take the highest time. So since we mainly concerned about the worst case, that's why we are going to take n square term. Even in case of other terms, big theta and omega, then also it will be same. It will be the O n square part. So in any expression, if it consists of O n square and all, it will always take that expression or that term that will take the longest time to complete running a program. Is it clear to you all?
Okay.
Okay. If any doubt, I can explain in the lab class also. Okay. We have lab class today, right?
Okay. Ma'am, can you explain if else statement
Yeah, sure. I will
again?
do it in lab
Mm, okay.
again. Again. Okay, it's going to end soon. So, beta, I just stop sharing. Don't go yet. I just need to check your attendance. Okay, 19. Okay, you can leave. It's going to end soon. Thank you. If any doubt, I'll just clear in the lab class. Okay. I can see your names here. No need to write the names again, roll numbers again. Yeah.